done on earth as it is in heaven. And so 2 angels stood beside the disciples as they gazed up into the sky, watching Jesus disappear in the clouds. And they assured the disciples that Jesus would one day come back again. And unlike his first coming, however, he will not enter the world as a vulnerable baby in Bethlehem, but he will appear in the clouds for all to see, that with the power and title of King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And so our lesson focus tonight is the return of the King of Kings will be a wonder. What should we be doing in the meantime? What should we be doing in the meantime? And probably for some of you, this lesson is very familiar, having to deal with having to look at the parable of the talents. We know Jesus loved telling parables. He loved telling stories that had a meaning to it, that he could, bring about a point that was relevant for his people. And so we're going to be looking at that, and I'm going to ask different ones to read a part if you want to volunteer, just different parts of it. And there'll be some parts that I'll read, and then I'll need a volunteer. I'll need a volunteer for verse 19, for verse 20, and 22, and 24, maybe even 29. So we'll see who. Well, you can just start reading and just see what happens. Okay, starting with verse 14, Matthew 25th chapter, verse 14. For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country, who called his own servants and delivered his goods to them. And to one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to each according to his own ability. If you have something to write with, underline to each according to his own ability. If you will underline that. Normally I have highlighters, but I didn't bring those tonight. But to each according to his own ability. And immediately he went on a journey. And then he who had received the 5 talents went and traded with them and made another 5 talents. And likewise, he who had received 2 gained 2 more also. But he who had received 1 went and dug in the ground and hid his Lord's money. Verse 19, someone.
After a long time, the Lord of those servants came and settled accounts with them.
Verse 20, someone.
So he who had received 5 talents came and brought 5 other talents, saying, Lord, you delivered to me 5 talents. Look, I have gained 5 more talents besides them.
Oh, wow. So the one that had 5 talents, what happened? He gained 5 more than what he had. Okay, all right. Okay, so that was verse 20. So let's go to 21. Someone read that.
His Lord said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You are faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many. Enter into the joy of the Lord.
Wow. We want to hear that, don't we? Well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things. Okay, verse 22. And his Lord said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord. If someone would please read 24 and 25. But his Lord answered and said to him, You wicked and lazy servant, and you knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gather where I have not gathered seed. So you ought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and at my coming I would have received back at my own with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to him who has 10 talents. And someone read verse 29.